In the second year of Chunxi in the southern Song, two scholars sat at a desk. Before them lay bundles of lectures, sayings, and commentaries, piled like a small mountain. A young student stood nearby and asked, "Master, Neo-Confucian learning is vast as the sea, where do I begin?" The two looked at each other and decided on one thing: not to write another huge book, but to pick out a starter volume, arranging the most essential words by what is near, by daily life, passage by passage. That arrangement became an anthology later placed beside the 4 books. It is called Reflections on Things Near at Hand. Good evening. This is Bedside Book Voice. Tonight we're reading Reflections on Things Near at Hand. If you're already lying down, dim the lamp a little more. Set the phone farther away. Pull the blanket up. This book suits listening with eyes closed. It also suits slowly finding the same person inside words you've heard but never quite fell through. Let me say the plain thing first. Tonight you don't need to memorize 14 scrolls of contents, or chew through the whole book. Just follow my voice and hear how the ancients settled the heart in reading, in doing, in meeting people, in being alone. When you're done, you'll carry away a few lines that can keep you company a long while. Fall asleep halfway? Zhu Xi and Lu Zuqian won't blame you. I won't either. Chinese readers often hear preserve heavenly principle and extinguish human desire, all people as siblings and all things as companions, and Cheng master standing in snow, yet many never know they come from the same song Neo-Confucian anthology. Tonight we'll slowly put this book back together. You don't need to become a Neo-Confucian expert. You only need to let the heart come home a little before sleep. You don't need to grasp everything. Listening along is already near reflection. The title Reflections on Things Near at Hand sounds like thinking more about what is close. Close can mean the person beside your pillow, the first thought when you wake tomorrow, or the depth of breath right now. Many book titles point far away. This one puts the word near up front, like two senior students reaching out to pull you half a step back from the vast pile. Half a step is sometimes enough to sleep. If you always feel classics are beyond you, start with near. Ask only one question: how do I want to treat myself tonight? That counts as opening the book. Opening need not mean sitting up. Lying and listening is also reading. Reading need not mean a lit lamp. Close your eyes, that counts as turning a page. Where the page stops, where the voice stops, that is the place. Not finishing is not owing the book a debt. The book remains. The path remains. You can reflect near again anytime. Next time, maybe one scroll is enough. Enough is one of this book's favorite words. Near is two. Together they make the best sleep. So tonight. Who compiled Reflections on Things Near at Hand? The chief editor was Zhu Xi, courtesy name Yuanhui, style name Huiyan, honored later as Master Zhu. Co-editor was Lu Zuqian, courtesy name Bowu, style name Donglai, from Yongkang in Genoa, already a famous scholar. In Chunxi II, AD 1175, they met to discuss an entry path for beginners. Lu Zuqian cited, study widely with earnest purpose, question closely and reflect on what is near. Near reflection means thinking close at hand, not floating in the sky. The title was set. Near is not shallow. It puts essential principle back where your hand can reach. By then Master Zhu was teaching in Fujian. Donglai was in Genoa. They wrote letters and debated face to face often. Compiling this book was not closed-door work. Real students had asked how to enter. Lu Zuqian, even ill, still cared for learners. Zhu Xi later wrote a funeral text saying the near reflections remained, meaning, the person goes, the path stays. Listening tonight, you walk the path they left. That opening question, Neo-Confucian learning is too vast, where to begin, hides its answer in a book that always looks like quoting others. We'll go slowly. You'll find it nothing like a cold textbook. More like two seniors picking for you from Zhou Dunyi, Cheng, and Zhang Zai the passages you should hear first. The whole book has 14 scrolls. One person did not write it. It is a selection. It gathers Northern Song Neo-Confucians, Zhou Dunyi, Cheng, Zhang Zai, and notes from their students. Zhu later compiled commentaries on the 4 books and explained the Great Learning, the Doctrine of the Mean, the Analects, and Mencius thoroughly. Reflections is the ladder before the 4 books, or the index map of principal learning. Reading it is not like reading a thesis. More like flipping a scrapbook, each piece short, each pointing deeper into original texts, yet even without digging down, hearing these chosen cuts is enough to settle a heart. Reading Reflections, bring one question: I'm busy by day, yet lying down at night my heart still spins. Is ancient self-cultivation far from me? Master Zhu would say, not far. Near reflection means don't always look skyward. First ask where the heart is in this thought, this affair, this night. One question is enough for the whole book. You may ask it once all evening, then hand it to the blanket. No need to answer before sleep. The first scroll is called Substance of the Way, beginning with Zhou Dunyi. Zhou Dunyi, style name Lianxi, Northern Song, one of the founding patriarchs of principal learning. His 2 most famous pieces are Explanation of the Diagram of the Supreme Ultimate and On Loving the Lotus. You may have memorized the latter in school, emerging unstained from mud, washed clean without being seductive. The former is more abstract, Supreme Ultimate, Yin and Yang, 5 phases, the 10,000 things. It sounds distant, yet what Reflections selects lands on one word: sincerity. Sincerity is the way of heaven. To think sincerity is the way of human beings. Heaven moves with sincerity. Humans should think sincerity too. Thinking sincerity is not shouting slogans. It is not deceiving inside, being one outside. Lying flat tonight, ask once, was there one place today where I was not sincere with myself? If yes, note it, change a little tomorrow. If no, you may sleep. Zhou Dunyi also said, the sage takes stillness as master. Master stillness is not no movement. It is a clear heart substance, not dragged about by things. You scroll the phone and cannot stop, not a hand problem, a heart pulled away. Master Zhu chose this passage to say, substance of the way sounds abstruse, yet it lands in stillness and sincerity. Stillness is putting the phone farther before sleep. Sincerity is admitting I still want to scroll, not fooling yourself I'm studying. Lianxi also wrote Penetrating the Book, on sincerity, incipient activation, and virtue. Incipient activation is the first stir of a thought. Virtuous conduct that sincerity sends forth. If a harsh sentence leaves your mouth by day, stopping at incipient activation saves many apologies later. If you couldn't stop, it's not the end of the world. Before sleep, acknowledge once at incipient activation, next time half a beat slower, that is near reflection practiced in affairs. In On Loving the Lotus, one may admire from afar but not play lightly, often read as praise of the lotus. Master Zhu reading Master Zhou waits do not play lightly, toward principle, benevolence, and one's proper place, keep respectful distance. Not coldness, not slighting. Slight yourself or the person beside your pillow when the heart becomes profane. A little reverence, a little distance, lasts longer. Next is perhaps the warmest voice in Reflections, Cheng, courtesy name Buchuan, called Master Mingdao. He and his younger brother Cheng are the 2 Chengs, yet temperaments differ. Cheng is gentle. Cheng is strict and ordered. Master Zhu selects more from Cheng early, perhaps because his words feel like an elder sitting at your bedside. Cheng has a line often quoted, the benevolent person takes heaven, earth, and the 10,000 things as one body. Not a command to save the world. It means, if benevolence is truly in your heart, seeing a neighbor, a passerby, a cat in rain, you feel this too as part of life. You come home from overtime impatient with family, not that you lack benevolence, but the thought I am exhausted covered it. Cheng would say, benevolent substance is hard to see, start by loving people near you. Near again. Treating the person sleeping beside you a little better is more real than empty talk of benevolence under heaven. He also said, to know benevolence, turn back upon yourself with sincerity. Turn back means ask yourself. Sincerity means don't fool yourself. If you often feel others wronged you, try once, was there a place I too was insincere toward others? Not to blame yourself, to put the scale back inside the heart. Scale outside, the angrier you get. Scale inside, change becomes possible. Cheng Hao on learning has a line perfect before sleep, the learner must first know benevolence. Knowing this principle, preserve it with sincerity and reverence, that is learning. Knowing benevolence is not memorizing a definition. It is recognizing in the heart, do I want to be someone less twisted inside? Once recognized, preserve with sincerity and reverence, that is learning. Preserve is like placing a small lamp in the heart. Don't blow it out. You need not succeed at knowing benevolence tonight. Admitting you want to keep this lamp is already entry. Mingdao also said, learning must be seen in affairs, not guarding an empty frame. Seen in affairs means in today's matter seeing benevolence, sincerity, reverence. Seeing is learning. You need not finish the whole book first. One small thing by day, a little softer or truer than yesterday, that is seen in affairs. Small affairs are nearer. The second Chang'e, courtesy named Zhengshu, Master H1, emphasized reverence and investigating principle more than his elder brother. A story later generations call standing in snow at the Cheng Gate. Students Yangshi and Yuzhua visited Chang'e while he slept. They did not dare disturb him and waited outside. When he woke, snow outside was a foot deep. The story is handed down by later people. Details may not match every historical record. Yet the reverence reads clearly, toward the teacher, toward learning, toward a question not yet spoken. Chang'e said, for advancing in learning, nothing equals reverence. Reverence is not fear. It is solemn respect, gathering inward, not slighting in the heart. Meeting late, leaving messages on read, on the surface busy, deep down often insufficient reverence toward time, the other person, words you once spoke. Running tomorrow's first task through the mind before sleep is not anxiety. It is reverence, I remember what I promised. Each one on taking reverence as master said, when reverence is master, inside becomes straight of itself. Straight inside means the heart does not bend. Round words for face bend the heart once or twice. Reverence straightens it. Straightening is not becoming wooden. Before speaking, ask, does this word respect myself? Besides snow at the gate, anecdotes like crossing water at the Cheng Gate circulate. Truth need not be fully verified. The shared point is the student's solemnity toward one question. If you have a question tonight about work, relationship, yourself, you need not wait until snow is a foot deep. Write one line in a memo before sleep. That is also reverence. He also said, preserving his master, reverence assists. Preserve heavenly principle, preserve the original heart. Reverence holds it so it does not scatter. Think of preserve as clarity in the heart, reverence as not squandering it. Squandering by day in quarrels, comparison, proving yourself, by night you cannot preserve. Not asking you to be a sage. Try once, squander 10 minutes less before sleep. That is preserve. Zhang Zai, courtesy named Zihu, Master Henku, from Chunxi. He wrote Western inscription, short, heavy. Master Zhu drew its spirit into reflections. It begins, heaven is called Father, earth Mother, therefore what fills heaven and earth I take as body, what leads heaven and earth I take as nature. The people are my siblings, the 10,000 things are my companions. Heaven and earth like parents. All people kin. All things partners. It sounds grand. Zhang Zai's meaning is practical. Your heart should not hold only my little plot. It should hold others, the future, the tree at the door. Zhang Zai also said, establish heart for heaven and earth, establish mandate for the people, continue lost learning for past sages, open peace for 10,000 generations. 4 lines later treated as a scholar's aspiration. No need to memorize before sleep. Ask, besides me, did I leave any crack in the heart today for someone else? If yes, that is the opening move of all as siblings and companions. If not, don't scold yourself. Leave a crack tomorrow. At the end of Western inscription, while alive, I follow affairs, in death, I am at peace. Alive, follow what should be done. Gone, the heart is calm. Don't think too far. Ask, was there one thing today I should do? Did I follow or twist? Follow a little, sleep more peacefully. Twist, follow tomorrow. Not too late. Master Zhou also selected much on learning. Principal learning is not empty talk. Reading has its method. Cheng said, reading classics, you must read passage by passage until they connect, then lift a passage again and reflect once more. Not 10 lines at a glance, segment by segment, then return. Listening tonight, you can read Chunxi's way, one segment unclear, don't panic, mark it, reflect another day. Near reflection was never meant to be understood in one pass. Zhu added, reading requires empty-hearted immersion and examining oneself closely. Empty-hearted means not refuting first. Immersion is like a fish swimming, slowly soaking through. Examining oneself means comparing with yourself, not with others. Reading restrain the self and return to ritual, don't first think so and so should be restrained. First ask, where today should I restrain myself? Examining oneself is the least conflict-prone step in near reflection. The scrolls also include passages on the way of the great learning, linked to its 8 steps, investigating things, extending knowledge, making intention sincere, rectifying the heart, cultivating the person, regulating the family, governing the state, pacifying all under heaven. From home to empire sounds a huge stride. Master Zhu selects them to say, the root is still in the person and the heart. Without cultivating the person, regulating family is empty talk. Without rectifying the heart, cultivation is performance. You need not pacify all under heaven. The cultivate the person ring is enough before and after sleep. Was there one place today where heart was not straight or conduct not upright? Note small, change small. Cheng on investigating things. Investigate means rectify, things means affairs. Investigating things is rectifying this affair, setting thought straight. Not researching all things under heaven, rectifying this email, this sentence, this night with principle once. Once rectified is nearer than empty memorization of 8 steps. For tomorrow's hardest matter, investigate once in the heart tonight, how do I plan to rectify? Sincerity of intention in reflections links with sincerity. Cheng said, with sincerity comes clarity, with clarity comes sincerity. Sincerity is not deceiving inside. Clarity is seeing clearly. Insincere with yourself, outward life blurs. Blurred, you want sincerity even less. Break the loop from the smallest sincerity, admit I am afraid, jealous, lazy, don't perform. Performance is the great enemy of sincere intention. The governing affairs scroll selects how to hold office and handle affairs. You may say, I don't hold office, what is this scroll to me? Yet in principle learning governing often means rectify yourself, then things become rectified. Rectify yourself first, home, team, community grow a little less chaotic. Cheng said, the way of governing has not one end. Not one standard answer fit local conditions. Before sleep, don't force a perfect day. Ask, was there one place today I rectified a little? Enough. The On Reading Books scroll asks how to read classics. Not more is better read in. Cheng said, reading the Analects, some read and nothing happens, some read 1 or 2 lines and rejoice, some read and love it, some read until hands dance and feet step without knowing. For levels from read equals unread to joy to love to dancing hands and feet. If tonight 1 or 2 lines stop you and the heart moves, you're between the second and third levels. Movement is near reflection working. Heart nature, preserving and nurturing, and reverence scrolls are most bedside friendly. Heart nature asks what heart and nature are. Preserving and nurturing asks how to keep and grow the good in the heart. Reverence asks how to stay solemn in movement and stillness. Cheng said, the human heart is like grain seed, given earth it lives, without planting, no sprout. The heart is seed, preserving and nurturing is the field. Scolded, compared, pressed by KPIs by day, earth hardens. 10 quiet minutes before sleep loosens soil a little. Not all, a little gives the sprout a crack. The principle and Qi scrolls are harder in principle learning. Principle is pattern and what ought to be, Qi is material and temperament. In Zhu Xi's philosophy, principle precedes Qi, principle generates Qi. You need not master debate tonight. Take one line, on the same affair, principle says thus, yet Qi may be pulled by emotion. Pulled is not no principle, Qi is tangled. Argue one sentence less before sleep. Let Qi smooth a little, principle shows. Cheng said, people have partiality, Qi has partiality, principle has no partiality. No partiality in principle doesn't mean you never err. It means the line of how things ought to be remains, when partial you can return. Return through reverence, sincerity, examining oneself. After quarrel in principle you should reconcile, yet Qi still pushes principle and Qi not yet united. Unity need not come at once. Sleep first. Tomorrow one reverent word, Qi smooths. Zhang Zai on Qi, supreme void is Qi, all things one body in Qi. No need to memorize concepts. Hear this, sometimes your trouble is not the affair too big but Qi gathered too much in one place. Scatter a little, walk 2 steps, wash the face, Neo-Confucian tuning of Qi. Not superstition. Body helping heart. The Supreme Ultimate Scroll returns to Zhou Dunyi, without limit yet supreme ultimate in movement generates yang, in stillness generates yin. Movement to the limit returns to stillness, stillness to the limit returns to movement. Sounds cosmological. Master Zhu selects it to link to the human heart, in movement and stillness, the heart too has supreme ultimate. Lying down, movement still there, let stillness rise slowly. That is return. Don't chase instant emptiness. Chase gradual quiet. Enough. Heavenly Way and Human Way scrolls treat heaven-human relations and daily human relations. Cheng said, heaven and human originally are not two, no need to speak specially of union. Not two things forced together, originally one body. Troubled by fate or luck is sometimes treating heaven as outsider, opposing your own days. Near reflections fix, treat today as one page co-written by heaven and me. Less fight, more acceptance, heart loosens. The final Learning the Way scroll gathers in Q&A, student asks, what is hard? Cheng restraining the self and returning to ritual. What is easy? Walking by benevolence and righteousness. Hard is self-restraint. Easy is following benevolence and righteousness. You need not choose hard or easy. Before sleep ask, tomorrow is there one tiny thing I can walk by benevolence and righteousness? One less hurtful sentence, one more thank you, sleep a little earlier. Tiny is truly near. What is the relation between reflections and the 4 books? From Yuan and Ming, many readers read reflections first, then the four books, like reading the table of contents before the text. Tonight you only read the contents yet already know. Master Zhou on sincerity and stillness, Cheng Hao on benevolence and one body, Cheng Yi on reverence and investigating principle, Zhang Zai on all his siblings and companions, Zhu and Lu on how to select and how to stay near. Enough. Don't be greedy. Compared with records of practice and reflection, Reflections is earlier, more mixed, more anthology-like. Records is one man's conversations. Reflections is a map of many minds. Compared with the great learning and doctrine of the mean, Reflections is more fragmented, shorter, better for segmented listening. If you've heard us read the School of Mind, you remember extending innate knowing. On the principle learning side correspond preserve heavenly principle, reverence, sincerity, investigating principle. One line lights from inside the heart, one stands through investigating things, reverence, preserving and nurturing. No need to pick sides before sleep. Both work, heart sincere, affairs reverent. Wang Yangming later criticized Zhu Xi's investigating things outside and proposed heart as principle. That is a great debate in intellectual history. You need not choose sides tonight. Remember, whether investigating things outside or in the heart, both ask you to be earnest once in affairs. Reflections teaches how to be earnest. Records teaches how to bring the heart back. Both are bedtime friendly, no need to memorize cover to cover, only try a little nearby. Lu Zuqian also compiled Master Donglai's commentary on the Zhuo tradition, another line of learning. Co-compiling Reflections was their shared consensus on Neo-Confucian entry. Consensus is not erasing disagreement. It is first drawing a common road. Reading Reflections you feel Cheng Hao wide, Cheng Yi strict, Zhang Zai broad, Master Zhou still his styles differ, yet Zhu and Lu arrange 14 scrolls like a piece of music. Different voices, one theme, pull people back to what is near enough to think, learn, and change. Master Zhu's life was busy, compiling, teaching, office, exile, debate. Lu Zuqian died a few years earlier. In Chunxi Zhu she wrote a funeral text, Donglai's learning, the near reflections remain. One book became two friends' gift to later ages. No need for textual archaeology tonight. Know that someone thought for you where to begin. Lying and listening, you receive the gift. We're about halfway. During this breath, one small favor, if tonight's voice kept you company, please tap like and subscribe, leave me a lamp in the night. No need to sit up. One finger. Good. We continue Reflections. Principle learning is often criticized. Preserve heavenly principle and extinguish human desire sounds too harsh. Cheng Yi's original words need context. Human desire often means excess, partiality, covering, not eliminating, eating and sleeping. Heavenly principle within human desire is like gold in or remove impurities, not reject the mind. Hungry tonight wanting something good is not human desire. Deceiving, robbing, harming for food, that is. Heard this way, extinguish human desire is less frightening. It shines on one thought, not on shrinking your whole life. Zhu Xi links preserve heavenly principle and extinguish human desire with nurturing. Nurturing requires reverence, advancing in learning lies in extending knowledge. Extinguish is not eliminating the whole person but that covering thought. Preserve is the heavenly principle side. One moment by day you knew you shouldn't yet did, not that you lack heavenly principle but that it was covered. Covered, before sleep don't call yourself hopeless. Ask, what covered me? Name? Profit? Fear? Name one, preserve returns a little. Cheng Hao said, heavenly principle and human desire cannot stand together. Sounds black and white. He means, in one thought you cannot both deceive yourself and be sincere. Saying I am doing this for your good while really controlling, that is standing together. split standing together without fanfare. One honest second, heavenly principle shows. Cheng also discussed knowing settledness. Settledness is not meditation trance. It is the heart having a master, not dragged by outer things. Student asks, how to settle? He said, do not seek outside. Outside is scrolling short video for comfort, seeking others' approval for peace. Inside is asking, is this present thought pure? Pure is settledness. Impure, admitting it is also near reflection. Master Zhu selected Zhang Zai on learning, when there is not knowing, worry and seek, seeking without getting, refine further, refine then think, thinking then penetrate. Not knowing, seek. Not getting, refine. Refined, think. Thinking, penetrate. Penetration is not one night's penetration. It cycles. One thing you cannot solve, don't wrestle it at night. Mark reflect tomorrow. That is Cheng-style reverence. Reflections also discusses friendship. Between friends, hold each other to goodness, mutual reminder. Reminder is not trial. I see you skew in affairs, I speak, listen or not is yours. Remember a friend's heavy line, if truly for your good, note it. If only emotion, you may release. Holding to goodness is very modern and principle learning. Relationships need true words. True words come from sincerity, not from winning. On filial piety, Cheng said, the filial child must keep and rest in proper place. In keeping proper place, filial piety is within. Keeping place is not cowardice. Knowing you are son, father, partner, each doing your part. Calling parents while annoyed yet performing warmth, better be sincere. I'm tired today, but I'm here. Sincerity is nearer than performing filial piety. On stillness and movement, Zhou Dunyi, Cheng and Cheng all speak. Stillness is not escape, movement is not scattering. Stillness establishes substance, movement carries use. You move by day, are still at night, legitimate. Legitimate means don't blame yourself, why can't I sleep? Ask, enough movement? Enough stillness? Then hand to the blanket. Some treat principle learning as suppressing human nature. If Master Zhu heard, he might say, when we speak human desire we speak of covering, partiality, excess. When we speak heavenly principle we speak of pattern, what ought to be, original heart. Not rejecting feeling, feeling too should walk on principle. Walk through once. Need not agree. Here, ancients did not want you turned to wood. They wanted you dragged less by one thought. Many editions of Reflections exist, Song, Yuan, Ming, Master Zhu revised later. Ignore textual studies tonight. Manage one thing, 14 scrolls, each scroll has near heart, near affair, near person, near night. Near is method and attitude. If you often feel mental friction, principle learning's method is not positive slogans but recognition, heart dragged by things, preserve. Cannot preserve, revere. Insufficient reverence, be sincere. Sincerity not reached, examine self and reflect again. For steps shrink to one, before sleep ask, do I follow this thought? Follow, follow. Don't follow, let go. Letting go is not failure. It is near reflection. Student asks Cheng, what is learning? To learn to become a sage. Must one become a sage? Yes. Can sages be learned? Yes. Sounds pressure. Yet Cheng also said, sages are human, humans are human, learning in one may not arrive. Learning is direction, not meeting the standard tonight. Direction present, sleep. Lu Zuqian spoke of solid learning, opposing empty talk. Words selected into reflections often land in affairs, reading, meeting people, running home, friendship. If you're an office worker, near reflection can mean projects, email, meetings, colleagues, or things.
No need to investigate all things under heaven.
Investigate the affair before your eyes.
Ask whether principle is present. Enough.
Master Zhu's later words are often read alongside reflections. He spoke investigating things to extend knowledge, nurturing requires reverence, advancing in learning lies in extending knowledge. Reverence and knowledge, two legs.
Tonight revere a little, no heavy words to the person beside you. Tomorrow extend knowledge a little, reread the passage you didn't grasp. Two legs walk steadier than hopping.
Difference from Buddhism and Taoism, the book doesn't debate scriptures, yet you hear, principle learning meets human relations, daily use, responsibility.
Not emptiness, not nothingness, being human in the world.
Hardest is still being human at night, not fooling yourself, not venting anger, not rehearsing tomorrow's anxiety early.
Reflections circulated long in East Asia. Korea and Japan have commentaries. Another historical page, don't expand tonight.
No one anthology stood centuries because people truly used it in daily life, sincerity, reverence, benevolence, preserve, near reflection.
Not loud slogans, wait at night. Joseon Korea took Chunxi learning as orthodoxy. Reflections was often the entry book.
In Edo Japan, Hayashi Raisin and others commented on reflections. Readers abroad also read how to stay near first, far later.
No need to go abroad. Scattered heart and heart entry are not new today. Ancients answered with an anthology. You receive the answer tonight.
After the Yuan, reflections stood with the 4 books in official learning, becoming examination prep. You don't take imperial exams today, yet preparation remains. Prepare a less chaotic heart, prepare usable words, sincerity, reverence, benevolence, investigate, preserve.
1 or 2 words enough for a lifetime. In Chinese educational history it long bound with the 4 books.
You don't take exams now, yet where do I begin remains.
Information exceeds the southern song. Hearts scatter more. Reflections answer unchanged, near first, less first, sincere first, reverent first, examine self first. Less is not lazy, fear chewing too much.
If you've heard the great learning, doctrine of the mean, and Analects, then reflections fills the map, so investigating things and extending knowledge sounds this way in the Cheng school, sincerity lands this way in Lianqi, all as siblings and companions rises this way in Western inscription.
If not heard, this book is the map. Know the road first, walk later. The great learning says, knowing where to stop, then there is settledness.
Reflections repeats knowing settledness and taking reverence as master, same line.
Knowing where to stop is knowing what should pause.
Settledness is heart no longer blown by wind.
Cannot stop scrolling, don't know where to stop.
Know yet still scroll, settledness not established.
Establish settledness from stopping once before sleep. Need not be perfect.
Doctrine of the mean, sincerity is the way of heaven, thinking sincerity is the way of human beings.
Zhou Dunyi and Zhu Shi carry this line. Thinking sincerity is human sincerity, to cultivate, reflect, stay near.
Need not become sincere in one night.
Each night 1 sentence less self-deception is a step of thinking sincerity.
Analects, study widely with earnest purpose, question closely and reflect on what is near, benevolence is within.
Lu Zuqian took near reflection for the title, placing the weight on close questioning. Close means examine self. Question means real question. Listening with a question is nearer benevolence than listening to finish.
For Master Zhu, benevolence often links with public-mindedness. Heart holds more than only me 1 step nearer benevolence. Another line from Cheng how suits the night, the benevolent person is one body with things, ritual, righteousness, knowledge, trust, all are benevolence.
Benevolence is not one point but a field. Need not be whole tonight. On one affair, distinguish a little less, unite a little more, that is near. Zhang Zai said, "What the heart can feel within my body, without heaven and earth, the 10,000 things all present." Present does not mean memorizing all things. The heart can resonate.
Resonance is hearing rain, seeing the lamp dim, feeling blanket warmth. The heart responds a little, not numb.
Numbness often means day exhausted you.
Allow 1 minute of resonance before sleep.
That is preserving and nurturing.
Cheng on reading versus discussion. Reading is reading yourself, discussion is debating with others.
Neither should be neglected. Tonight you only read by listening, no discussion, fine.
Another day a person or a comment thread, one sentence debated is also learning.
Debate need not win. Stay near. Master Zhu was about 34 compiling this, Lu Zuqian about 37.
Two scholars not yet old drawing a roadmap for younger people.
Whatever your age, you can be the youth standing before the mountain of books, accepting the map.
Accepting is not believing all, walk a few steps first. In the Chunxi years, principal learning had internal divisions.
Zhu Shi, Lu Zuqian, Zhang Shi, Lu Zhouyuan, letters and debates many.
Compiling reflections, Zhu and Lu took the shared base of Zhou, Cheng, and Zhang, not one faction's private case. You read an introductory public course, not faction materials. Entry, argue less first, walk more. After walking, decide where to dig deeper, choice you can make before sleep. If you continue tomorrow, read only one scroll, troubled heart, preserving and nurturing, scattered reverence, conflict with others, on friendship and all as siblings. Reading by scroll fits near better than page by page.
Tonight one panoramic listen is enough. Panorama need not all be understood. One corner understood is entry.
Entry means the road Zhu and Lu drew at the desk in Chunxi 2 was not drawn in vain.
The book's temperament can close with two characters, near reflection.
Not cutting far, not cutting high, cutting what is near, this night, this thought.
Busy all day, now is the best time for near reflection. Lamp dim. Heart can ask, do I still follow that thought? Don't follow, sleep. Follow, also sleep, reflect tomorrow.
If you're the kind who holds meetings in your head after lying down, try Chunxi's method, hold the meeting to one sentence.
What is today's most grating sentence? Say it, hand to tomorrow. Handing over is not escape. It is reverence, I know it's still there, but tonight I won't wrestle. Wrestling stays for affairs. Finally, one line on learning from reflections to gather you.
Cheng said, learning must turn back upon oneself.
Turn back means compare with yourself, not others. Need not aspire to sagehood. Aspire, tomorrow one affair a little more sincere, reverent, near reflection. A little is also learning. So much tonight, you need remember nothing. Truly not one line. Reflections is not for memorizing.
Like two seniors picking words from the northern song for you.
Passing by, hear two lines enough.
Sleep with a little feeling, perhaps sincerity, reverence, all as siblings, or the youth before the mountain asking where to begin.
Before good night, a small question, which line tonight do you most want beside your pillow? Thinking sincerity is the way of human beings, or the people are my siblings and things my companions, or for advancing in learning nothing equals reverence? No rush to answer now.
After waking, tell me in comments, I read each one.
If you like nights like this, subscribe and touch the bell so on the next sleepless night I can find you again. Next time we read idle talk around the winter hearth. Principal learning teaches sincerity and reverence in the heart. Idle talk is brief nightly words, one sentence, one world, good paired with near reflection.
One line from reflections for tonight's end, none fits this moment better.
Cheng said, knowing this principle, preserve it with sincerity and reverence, that is learning. Busy all day, now is the time to preserve. Lamp dim. Sincere a little, reverent a little. Preserve principle even if only until sleep. No need to seek outside. Near is enough. Let it quiet. You sleep. Let the lamp stay dim. Nothing to fight, nothing to perform. Tomorrow still has affairs. Tonight be the lightest part of being human, someone lying down. If Master Zhou saw, he'd likely say enough. This road of principle learning walked from the Chunxi desk into your blanket, near reflection once more. Put today down. Leave tomorrow to tomorrow. Sleep. Good dreams for you tonight. See you in the pages tomorrow morning.
From the question before the mountain to quiet beside the pillow, carry nothing away if you wish. One line or none still counts as having read reflections. This is Bedside Book Voice. Good night, see you in the pages.